2016's presidential election came as a shock to almost everyone in Washington. The Beltway got a lesson from the middle class about who we wanted for the Oval Office, and it's safe to say that some Democrats aren't thrilled with the people taking our power back. Democrats, who found the Trump administration completely intolerable, are determined to regain their majority in 2018 and the presidency in 2020. Fortunately for us, they seem to be pushing forward a candidate that is likely to push America closer to the Trump campaign than ever. The candidate that is hitting the campaign trail already, with a plan mapped out for victory, is former Attorney General Eric Holder. Holder was a part of the Obama administration, and as Freedom Daily earlier reported, the first person to ever hold that position that had to be held in contempt of Congress. In 2012, the House of Representatives voted to hold Holder in contempt of Congress over his failure to turn over documents related to the Fast and Furious scandal. As Dara Lisa RCA pointed out in 2014, when Obama's Department of Justice finally released thousands of documents related to Operation Fast and Furious that Obama had previously claimed were exempt from congressional review, when Eric Holder wants to know why he was the first Attorney General held in criminal contempt of Congress, he can read the judge's order that compelled the production of 64,280 pages that he and President Obama illegitimately and illegally withheld from Congress. But none of that is keeping Holder and his good buddy Obama from hitting the campaign trail, and according to USA Today, they're going into the heart of the Republican states to try and bring the Trump supporters around. Washington, former President Barack Obama will join a national effort to address redistricting concerns, including traveling to red and swing states to help Democratic candidates campaigning on the issue, his former Attorney General said. "I expect that later this year, you will see him campaign," Eric Holder said of Obama. "He will be focused on the races that will matter for redistricting. He has identified this as his chief political activity in his post-presidency. It would be part of the National Democratic Restricting Committee, a group led by Holder that was set up to address redistricting concerns across the country. The group's efforts come as Democrats and Republicans battle over the control of Congress and state legislatures in the midterms. Both parties have decried election maps as unconstitutional while simultaneously fighting over who will draw them in the future. So at this point, you're probably wondering how the DNC ever plans to wipe the mud off their faces and make a win in the two upcoming election cycles. Well, the plan goes back to their complaint during the 2016 election. If you listen to a liberal long enough, you will undoubtedly hear that Hillary won the popular vote. In other words, it's that nasty electoral college. According to the left, that entire loss had nothing to do with Hillary's criminal past and everything to do with the congressional districts. The plan seems to be to take a Sharpie to the congressional map and redistrict it to benefit the Democrats. Holder, who spoke to reporters at a breakfast hosted by the Christian Science Monitor, said he briefed Obama on the group's strategy earlier this week. The effort will include supporting redistricting reform efforts in states, raising public awareness, launching legal challenges, and helping elect Democratic candidates focused on fair redistricting. Holder said the 2018 elections are vital to that effort. These are in some ways the first critical steps for putting in place people who will take power back from politicians and give it to the people, he said. There's a system now where politicians are picking their voters as opposed to citizens choosing who their representatives are going to be. And it's a fundamental affront to our system of democracy. Holder said redistricting is an issue he and Obama have talked about for months, and even before Holder left the Justice Department in 2015. The group will target states, including Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina and Ohio. Several other states, including Pennsylvania and Texas, are on its watch list. Holder said he will travel to states to help Democratic candidates and raise awareness about the impact of gerrymandering. He said he also hopes to engage more young people and people of color about the long-term consequences of elections so they're organized and energized to get out and vote come November. In other words, Holder is getting out the Democratic vote and giving the power back to the Democratic voters. Given, it's their right to attempt to do any of this that they want. That's the beauty of how this system is set up. Either side is allowed to do whatever is legal to give themselves the edge, and this is legal. It's also our right, and privilege, to pay attention and make sure that our will is being played out, and that those of us with our heads in our 40-hours-a-week jobs don't get passed over just because the welfare recipients had more time to pay attention. HT, USA Today. Follow us on Facebook. From the web powered by ZergNet, 6 toys from the 90s that are worth way more than you think. Navy SEAL who killed Bin Laden tossed off plane. Navy SEAL who killed Bin Laden gets thrown off plane. The truth about the Obama sisters, actors who almost ruined their careers over one role. What really happened to Mike Holmes?